Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Veryn and I am here today to give y'all an update and tell you about what is going on in my journaling world. Okay, so before we get into my journaling stack, which has expanded, it has gotten bigger. Sorry, was just adjusting the camera. Before we get into this, let's just do a quick, once again, life update, talk about the elephant in the room. So, I was gone for a while. The TLDR is, my mental health really sucks. And it was really super sucking. And I just didn't have anything in me to give to anyone anywhere. And so I took a break because I truthfully have been in an ongoing mental health crisis. I am safe. I am not in any physical danger. And I am not very well. Today's a good day, and we're sticking with that. We're enjoying the good day. If you would like to hear the longer form update of why I've been away, what this channel is going to look like moving forward, and updates about my YouTube channel membership, then stay tuned till the end of the video, and you can get that information there. So I'm very sorry about that, and I'm also not, because my mental health is important and my survival is more important than YouTube videos. Period, point blank. But I do love my journals. And in fact, my journals have kept me going. And if you were here at my previous planner stack video, which is linked down in the description box, you can check that out. This has changed a lot. I am actually missing a journal. Hold on. I do also have this one. So there's my planner stack. This has changed. So let's get into it. And we're going to go, I think we'll go in size order, because that just seems like it'll be easier. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just go in size order. Let me put these aside. Wonderful. And we're starting with this little guy. I love this. I love this so much. This is my little travel journal. This is literally known as a traveler's notebook journal. And a dear friend who I love, hi baby, I love you, bought me this from Notebook Therapy. Said friend also sent me a huge box for my birthday and sent me one. So I do also have this one. So for the record, this is Archer and Olive's travel journal. For the record, if you've never seen it, the travel size of the Archer and Olive is a decent chunk bigger than the Notebook Therapy. So I do have this one. I am going to use this one when it is ready. But I actually have learned this is my first time having Archer and Olive notebooks, and while they are wonderful and beautiful notebooks, I am glad that I found Notebook Therapy, because it still feels more accessible price point wise and very on par. And I love that Notebook Therapy ends up with lots of witchy aesthetics. So we have this one. This is called Moonlit Whisper Edition. It's a Suki Moonlit Whisper Edition travel journal by Notebook Therapy. I got this in response to trying to figure out my journaling, because I think I've mentioned it in a previous video before I took some time for my mental health again, that I have, hello brain, where'd you go? I don't know. My life, the structure of my life has changed a lot since I began bullet journaling. And while I had my A5 and I started using it and I was glad to use it, it stopped being, it was a thing that was very easy for me to stop using. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly my daily, my daily grind stuff, my daily keep myself a functional human being stuff. And part of that is because of the mental health. So really do, if you're curious about how this is going to impact my journaling and content and stuff, please do stick around and check out the end of the video, because there is going to be content about like figuring this stuff out. And if that might be like figuring out how to make my neurodivergent life work and how to be a functional human and how my journaling can support that, there will be content about this. And if you'd like to hear more about where that content will be and like how it will be split up, then like check out the end of the video. Anyway, so the not so short version of this is that I go out a couple times a week and I spend the night out. And so doing my journaling practice in the evening doesn't work. And even this is a very large size notebook to take when all I take with me is my purse. And in my purse, I often have a basic change of clothes for the next morning when I'm coming home. So this, however, is perfect. So how this has ended up being, I kind of had like a moment where I crystallized it. Also though, fun fact, I just love these notebook therapy notebooks. They all have like a little quote, and this one says, "Each phase of the moon is a new whisper of hope for the stars in the night." And that just, so I sat there and this is perfect. And the crystallizing moment I had was I realized I tend to do things by like event in my life, like just in general. So I build habits around events, not around time. So I don't have like a set time of day when I do the dishes, but I do the dishes when I cook breakfast. Now, obviously, this does mean if I don't cook breakfast, I don't do dishes, and it's got its holes in it. We're working on it. But I was like, I can have the same kind of event-based thing for my notebooks. And so this is literally my travel notebook. If I am going outside, this notebook comes with me. If I am leaving the house, this comes with me to be my journal. And everything that I want to journal about while I am out of the house goes in here. So I have put weeklies in here. I need to, and I'm going to keep doing this just so I can, except I actually don't know if I really need to do that in here because I can check my calendar. I've done dailies in here. I like having dailies in here. And I wrote some quotes from a book I'm reading. And I did some journaling when I was sitting outside, and I got like the universe was really like getting me with signs. And then lastly, I did an ancestral message reading. This is a tarot reading that I did. So that is the kind of stuff that is going to go in this journal, is any kind of travel thing. If I leave the house, this journal comes with me, and anything that I want to journal about goes in here. The other thing that I think will sometimes happen, this will depend on how some of the other stuff goes, so we'll see how this develops, but the other thing I kind of imagine happening is sometimes doing a big list or a big daily, because while I have other journaling, that I do like and I'm trying to make use of, which we'll get to, I don't necessarily, like, the consistency hasn't happened. And sometimes I get overwhelmed and I want to just write a long list of the shit on my brain. And I don't think that kind of a thing will work well with in any of the other journals I have. But I don't know. We will see about that. So this is my literal travel journal. I really like how this little reading did. And then when I came home, I didn't add any of the color. I just did it formatted how I usually do. So like I leave spaces where I normally leave spaces. And then I came home and I added the color and I added the stickers. And that's how I'm going to do that. This is my low maintenance. I need a journal. This is coming with me. When I take it, I tuck this, and this size fits, not like fully clipped and not within the thing, but this fits within my Moterm wallet. So actually, let me grab that and show you. So the other one won't fit. The Archer and Olive one will not fit. But this does. So this, it's not a perfect fit, but it does fit within my wallet. I don't always put it in my wallet. I don't know if I'm just gonna get a new wallet because, like, I got this to be able to put journals in it, and while I do like this doesn't quite fully fit. So I'm tempted to just get a regular wallet. Anyway, so that's that one. That is my travel journal. Next, we have this is the journal that was my daily journal. And just, I continue to learn repeatedly. I learned the lesson that I don't do well when I try and split the areas of my life so much. It just is harder for my brain. My brain is a dump it all in one spot kind of a thing, which is hard because I do like organizing. Also, this is really weird because my, like, hearts I drew just kind of disappeared. And as time went on, I stopped using this journal again. Because the type of journaling I tend to do, I do in the larger size. And so, over time, this just started to fall by the wayside. And because I was doing more journaling in my other journal. So, but my other journal doesn't work for the, here's where it really, my older journal, my larger journal, my B5 doesn't work with the weekly and journaling. I still haven't figured out how to do all the types of journaling in a way that works. So then I was like, well, fuck, what do? I have all of this journal left. I got this one embossed. I added this sunflower to it, and I love how this looks, albeit it's apparently a bit dirty. And then it occurred to me, another thing, a practice I do, which I talked about in my Wheel of the Year video, which I will link in the description box down below. I pull a daily card roughly every day from my Seasons of the Witch Oracle, whichever corresponds to the Wheel of the Year, the part I'm on. We're in Beltane season, so this is a Beltane card. I pull an energy card from the Oracle. I pull an obstacle and advice card from my Wildwood Tarot, and I do a reading every day. And I like this as kind of like keeping me in tune with the world's energy, and also sometimes helping me figure out a message of the day, a touchstone. And so I wasn't doing any through Ostara because I don't have an Ostara deck. So when Beltane season started very recently, I was like, what am I going to do? Because I don't know, like, I don't know the way to do these daily readings in my, again, my large size B5. So for now, I determined, well, I'll just do it in here. I don't want to have to restrict these readings because it's so important to me in my practice and in my life and for my mental health. Like, this shit has kept me going. My journaling and my cards have kept me going while it's been really hard. So I don't want to restrict this. So in the meantime, I'm doing that in here. It's very easy then because it's just 1 page per day. And I do have, like, I have all of these pages to fill. And I love this size. I don't think I'm going to go back for like a travel size notebook. I think this is it. So I love this size. I have another journal with more paper than this. And it's actually at my partner's house. If you haven't been here in a while, here's your memo. My wife and I are still together. We have become poly. So I also have a partner. If you have a problem with any of that, you can take your problems and you can fuck off with them because I don't care. But that's what I say. Like, I have a partner. That's where I'm going sometimes. Anyway. I have a journal at my partner's house because I was like, what if I need to an emergency journal? So I'm actually going to grab that. Let me write that down. Just most of the time when I go to their house, it's on a weeknight, and so I don't have a lot of time, so I don't spend a lot of time while I'm there journaling. But I do need to be able to have a journal to record things. So I love that size. I don't think I'm going to go back. And I don't know how to structure these dailies in my B5 journal, which we will get to. I cannot fathom a way it will work and that I will like it. So for now, we're just doing this. And it makes a lot of sense because this just lives at my desk. And my desk is where I do these readings. So this just lives at my desk, and in the morning I grab it. I started this on May 6th, and I've successfully done every one. Yesterday's was a flop because the day just turned badly. I spent all day crying because, mental health and depression. And here's today. And I like this. I don't know if I'm going to add a bunch of decoration or anything like that. But I can tell you that I use my color scheme universally across all my notebooks. So whatever color scheme I have for the month, I keep the markers in my pen container, just here. And I use those in every journal. This is my Taurus season. This is my Taurus season color code. And so I will use it until Taurus season is over. And so I've used it here. I've used it here. Same colors code, shows up slightly differently because paper is slightly different. I use it across whatever journal I'm in. So that's how this journal has turned into. And I'm pretty pleased with it. The only thing I'm not pleased with is I need to reorganize my desk. But that's a separate issue. Okay, so there's that one. Next up, we have my Aries journal. Okay. Oh God, that looks so gorgeous. Is this not beautiful? This is a an A5 T Fossey journal, and I adore it. It is gorgeous. It is thick. The paper quality is pretty good. I really, really, really like this journal. And they have one for each sign. And I fell in love with them. The only thing that makes me sad is why didn't you emboss why didn't they put a little sign here like a little thing that says Aries. To match the rest. Like, that's the only thing I don't understand. And if I had the tools and the skills, I would do it myself, but I don't. These covers are stunning, and this is really well priced. These journals, considering the quality, like, this is a really nice cover. It says leather. I don't know if it's like actual real leather. It's 100 GSM dot grid paper. Apparently it is real leather. It has a pen loop. It doesn't have a pocket at the back, which is fine. But this is $42 Canadian, which is not fucking bad, especially considering how thick it is. So I just don't get why they didn't do like just a quick embossing of the gold down the spine that says Aries. That's the only thing that really pisses me off, because like otherwise it's so perfect. Why wouldn't you just do the pretty thing? I don't understand. So anyways, rant aside, I bought these notebooks. I'm Woo! All right. Okay. I've taken a minute to stop being weird and to get my tongue back in order. I saw these journals and I actually found it on Amazon, but they're no longer all available on Amazon. What? Amazon. So I hunted them down and found the actual like creator website, so that way I could still get them, because my plan is to get all of them, one of each sign, and I'm using them in some way for work with my brain annual perfection years. I'm essentially using them as like some sort of magical journal that corresponds to work I do with the Aries part of my chart, or the 10th house in this case, because for me, Aries is my 10th house. I'm sorry that this part is very rambly. Anyways, I did start this notebook because I did start my annual perfection year. So, like, this has evolved, so I did do a title page because this is very thick. I don't think I'm going to finish this all in 1 year. The way I'm kind of looking at it is like, this is my Aries and 10th house work grimoire for me, in my magical book, my book of shadows, my book of mirrors. So I don't expect to be able to fill this whole thing in 1 year. So I added a title page, and I plan to do that in subsequent years as well. And I did glue pages together just because I wanted it to be a bit thicker. And I was doing some goal work. I have done quite a bit of scripting so far along with this. But I don't really know exactly what this journal is going to be, what exactly is going to go in here. It is a work in progress. And I'm not necessarily going to show a ton of this book on this channel, on the public channel, because that's my very deep spiritual work. So that's mine. That brings us to my large size notebooks. I have 2 of them. So let's check in first with the one that I already had, because I didn't actually finish this, but I do have a new journal. So I started out this journal at the beginning of the year, not sure what I was doing journaling wise with a lot of things. I wasn't sure what I was doing with my A5 journal. There's a reason my mental health has crashed now, and a lot of it is because, like, I've been white knuckling life, and that's not very good for me. So I did here my Aquarius season predictions. This is a practice I've had ongoing for years. It has changed a bit, but it is my practice. And working with moon cycles, I was doing tarot daily readings here, which, like, I could still do this format in my big journal, but I just don't know if that is what I would like to do. I like the full page vibe of it. Here's a week in review, which I do love doing. But so I was going through this and was feeling unsure. I love journaling like this. And everything's just been kind of confusing, quite honestly. This year has been very confusing. And I've done a lot of journaling. This was a very powerful reading I did. I don't love how this page looks, but here's Mercury return stuff. I love how this looks. This is a reading. This is what I love this journal for, is the larger format readings. And then here is where things started to click. I did a whole video on this. I've already mentioned it. This was my Wheel of the Year video. Check it out. It is linked in the description box down below. This is my Wheel of the Year. And so what I did with this, like, check out that video. But what I've learned with this, what this helped click into place for me, is how much I love doing large readings that I come back to and dig deeper at. So when I did this reading, I did not interpret all of these cards. This is the same as my year ahead spread, which is a service I offer to clients. So in the description box, not only can you find my website, you can also find a video where I talk all about it called Let's Talk About Year Ahead Spreads. Please check that out in the description below. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but it's there if you want. I pulled all these cards for the Wheel of the Year, and I haven't interpreted any of them beyond where I am at currently. So I did this reading where I just pulled the cards, and I pulled 3 cards from the Roots and Wings for each season. I interpreted spring because that's where we were and where we're at now when I started this. Then I did my Ostara reading, and I put a summary of my Ostara reading here. I did do my Beltane reading. I will show you that, but it's not in this journal. And I came in and I added it here. So this is where it started to click with my journaling style, and I'm loving it. So there's still a lot to fill in, and it will get filled in over time. I just filled this in not too long ago. I'm very excited for summer season. But we're not there yet. We're in Beltane until Cancer season starts, so we've still got a bit to go, but we're getting really close. It's actually almost Gemini season. So this was when it started to click. And around this time, I decided, quite spur of the moment, to finally join Jessica Starr, formerly known as Jessica the Story Witch here on YouTube, now known as Jessica and the Moon, her YouTube channel membership. I was always kind of surprised that I didn't join it when I did, that I didn't join it right from the beginning. But I guess I just wasn't ready. So, at some point in here, let me see if I can find out when I did that, actually. I joined on, I guess, the 23rd of March. So, I did this on March 20th. And within like 3 days, I joined Jessica the Story Witch, Jessica and the Moon's YouTube channel membership. Here's my reflections for Pisces season. Here's Aries season. Again, doing the predictions. Week ahead. And I had begun watching through Jessica's YouTube content, which is a thing I do. I watch through from the beginning. I go back to her readings. Not readings. I go back to her videos. I put them in order from oldest first, and I watch through them all in order. And I wanted more journaling content, so I joined her channel membership. This is a moon practice I've developed, which I love. I will maybe share more about that some point in the future, now that it's more like I'm feeling more solid in it. But this is my moon journaling. Like, I do this every moon phase. The key with this is I do this from the connected ones. So this was the Aries new moon, and the Libra full moon, although it started with the full moon in Libra first and then went to Aries. But I did that. Also loved this. So I joined Jessica's channel membership. And she does tabs in her journal. And let me tell you, the way I love tabs in everything. I have a Filofax. I've always wanted to be a Filofax bitch. And that's because it's organized. You can do tabs, and then you can use the tabs and refer to things, and I love it. Except the problem is, actually, the journaling style I need is not conducive to a Filofax. So the ability to cut tabs in my chaotic bullet journal and still have it be a chaotic bullet journal, highly appealing. Here's my annual perfection year. This was when I had my birthday, my 33rd birthday, the beginning of my 10th house perfection year, my solar return. So I did some like journaling on kinds of like what I think it's going to be like. This is the astrological movement. Then I have started, I started another long form reading, which I will perhaps tell you about in the future once it feels more solid. This still doesn't feel solid enough for me to share, but I did that. And here's the actual like tarot reading I did, which, come on. My specialty is doing readings based on people's astrology, including my own. So I look at the chart. If there's an astrological event, like your birthday, which is a solar return, I look at your chart and how it looks at the moment I'm prepping for your reading. And then based on like what's standing out astrologically, astrological signatures, I create a spread that is fully customized based on your chart, and then we pull cards. And that's your reading. It is one of my favorite things to do. Check out my website. Keep in mind, some of the stuff on my website is going out, and not the astrology stuff. I really want to refocus and recenter on the astrology stuff because it's my specialty and it's the thing I love. And it's also my most popular thing. So like it just kind of, I want to lean into the stuff that I already am doing, that I excel at and that I love so much. Anyway, here's the reading. Look at this. Is this not beautiful? I did some journaling because I was starting to have my mental health crash here. This was something I was working on, which I might talk about later. I don't know if I'm going to come back to this, but this is me trying to do astrology, like trying to build my day-to-day life stuff around astrology, because each day of the week is corresponded with a planet, which I do love this, but mental health. So I got to get my mental health stabilized first. And then here is where it really started, because I was a part of Jessica's membership and I was like, I can just cut off a bit of the edge, not lose a bunch of space, and have the ability to make tabs. And also, one of the things you get in Jessica's YouTube channel membership is every month, or month, there is a live dark moon journal circle. We all get together and just work in our journals for an hour and a half to 2 hours. I love it. It's phenomenal. I work with the goddess Hecate. She is my matron, and she also does associate with the dark moon. So I decided to try doing some pages for Hecate and the dark moon, going from moon to new moon cycle, or dark moon to dark moon. This is where I do my goddess work. So I did some reflections. I did this beautiful title page. I love title pages, and I love the format of this. I tried doing some astrology stuff. I didn't like how that went. I did a tarot reading that worked pretty good. This one worked well. This was interesting, but I'm still figuring out some of these details. I love this page. This reading was very effective. Love it. And the whole thing is, at this point I was realizing with the tabs, I can do the multiple things I want to do, and I can just design different tabs for each. You'll see more of that when we get to my next journal. So here's my April title page, because I like doing many things. I am a maximalist. Anyway, here is my basic calendar. I didn't do a lot of decoration. This is me trying to figure out how to get some of the stuff that I had in here in this journal. And like witchifying it enough that I like it. Word of the day. I did do a setup video for this. I can link that in the description too. Here's my memories and gratitude. Here's some annual perfection work and a brain dump. I think I talked about this. Here's a weekly. I really loved this at first. And this is when I was working with the idea of setting up my days based on the ruling planet of that day, which actually maybe I do want to pick that back up. Anyway, so there's a weekly. Here's a week in review reading I did. I really like how this looked. I love using the Gentle Tarot as a week in review and kind of looking at, as a week ends, what do I need? And I really liked this format where I did mentally, I did quotes from the guidebook, like a message for myself, and then like a little note of something I think I could do to support this, and then the affirmation. So I really did like this. Then I did more week in review stuff, which this is too much. I haven't done this since. I don't miss doing this. I do miss doing this. Another weekly. So at this point, Aries season reflections. I had gotten my new journal, but I wasn't done this. So I was like, well, fuck, what do I do? So this journal is now effectively until I need a new one, which, like, I have an empty journal waiting to go. But until I need a new one, who knows when that will be, this is my long-term collections journal. Because I do not want to redo this. I worked really hard at this. And I don't want to redo this into my new journal, into every subsequent journal. I want to have a journal that houses the spreads like this that I can fill out. And then at the end of that cycle, whichever cycle it is, this is at the end of the wheel of the year, I can look at it and see what has happened. So I decided to make this a long-term collections journal. And here, so I've done a little bit. This is my annual perfection goal setting work I'm trying to do. Trying being the key word. I have run out of ink in my printer again, so I need to get more of that in order to get more cards and stuff. But I do have washi tape and new journaling supplies. And as you can see, I did a different tab here. So this one, I made it a Mars symbol because Mars is my Time Lord for this year. So this would be a different symbol next year if I do like this and keep doing this. This is, I like to try and do goal setting based on my astrology in my annual perfection year. It's just kind of what makes sense in my head. So, and I was doing some of this in my Red Aries journal, but that was two separate. So I wrote down the astrology stuff of like the path of Mars. I wrote down the cards I drew. I wrote down what my goal was. And so, for example, I'll read this page. So my goal when I started this, before my mental health, like before I knew it had fully crashed, my goal was to identify the path I want to grow my life's work on and start taking steps on it. Then I wrote, since starting this, we have found a huge obstacle and now I'm not really sure how to start moving forward. The big obstacle, my mental health is trash and I am not stable. When I think about it, it does make sense that it came up. Mars is my Time Lord, and Mars rules energy, drive, and motivation. With those things less accessible, how am I supposed to make progress on my life's work? So let's try again. The new goal, to stabilize my mental health and remove other obstacles so I can decide what I want to do with my life from a centered place. It's not like a goal that necessarily has a bunch of action steps automatically packed in, but these are how I need my goals. And then from here, I set up a whole bunch. I did mess up here, but I set up a whole bunch for the whole year, for the whole annual perfection year. So this goes all the way to March next year. And I have it for each month, because this goes with the month. I have a box with the cards I pulled, the goal for that month. So for example, my cards I pulled for my annual perfection, sacrifice 2 of trees and the elementalist. The goal for this month, for May, is to get myself out of the woods and on the road to stability and to unfuck my Mars. And a key word is simplicity. And so based on this goal, I planned these things about that would help support that goal. And this goal is built to support this goal. And then at the end of the month, I can write, in reality, how it went. And I have that for each month, and then a quarter one review for the whole, I didn't actually write. Because another thing I'm really doing is I'm really trying to work on my feedback loop so I can continue to progress. So that's it of the new stuff. But I think actually, but I do also have at the back, I did some journaling, but I do have a couple things at the back because I built this spread. So this spread here, I built before I had my new journal, so I put it in the back of the notebook. That's the way I've always done it, is if a long-term collection came up that I wanted to build and I had already started my journal, I always built it in the back so it was easy to find. I don't have to do that now because I have one separate journal. But when I decided to do this way, and after I had found this, I wanted to redo, I had this front matter stuff that I needed to go somewhere. So I needed something for my year ahead spread. This stuff I had like moved away from, so I don't need this anymore. Like I don't need necessarily, although maybe I do want to build one. Anyways, but I haven't built one of these yet. I might now, because now I actually am thinking about it. I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. The moon returns, I'm not doing the pull ahead thing. But I do still like to see, anyways, sorry, I'm thinking, but I needed something to address all of this front matter. And some of it still hasn't been addressed. This spread is my year in tarot. So this replaced this, just this tracker, and this. I am tracking my cycle elsewhere. I don't have a long-term cycle tracker at the minute. I'll probably build one. And migraines and body pain, these were for my wife, and we were trying to get her to track them, but anyway. So I built a year in tarot spread. And I built it very similarly to this because I really liked it. So I have the wheel in the center that shows my cards. It started here and goes around because this is when January is, so it goes around. Actually, I'll put... Although I don't actually use this with my monthly stuff as much anymore. I use this with my, like, with that season. And I don't currently do like a ton with it. We will see. But what I did was, so it started here. I have the wheel. I have the signs to indicate what card I have. I have the boxes with the affirmation from each card, from the Gentle Tarot guidebook, which is just a practice I love doing. And then if you open the flaps, here is my daily tarot tracker. So these 3 have been filled out because these months have passed, January, February, March. I filled out April's. I'm working on May's because that's where we're at. And it'll go round. And then at the end of the year, I will have this completed. The other thing that I have... Oh, right, I did. Silly me. So, so this replaces... This is replacing this spread. Because I also fucked up when I pulled my moon cards. So I built this moon spread to go with my new moon practice. It's not a new moon practice, it's a new moon practice. So that way I can look at the cards and see patterns and stuff. Because I do like to see at the end of the year, I really like to look at and see like the patterns and see kind of any... I like this shit. I like data. I like collecting it. And so I built this. So I do have that. That's that journal. I'm... If you haven't been here before, you're really getting a full deep dive into how complicated I am. Because I'm not a simple human. And that brings us to my daily journal. This is my journal that kind of just lives on my desk. And I love it. This is an Archer and Olive. A thing I've noticed, at least with this, maybe this one's a misprint, is the dot grid doesn't line up the same. But, so this is my journal, and what I've been really excited about is that I have been able to set it up, like, look at that. It's not perfect. There's a reason Jessica uses washi tape on her tabs, because it reinforces them. But, so here we are in my regular, everyday journal. I have nothing in the back, because I don't, wait, sorry. I have one thing in the back. And that's my long-term lists. Because this I want to keep in my journal, because then when this journal is finished, it prompts me to look at the lists and go through them and decide if the things on the lists are still important. But that's the only thing I have in the back. This is my intro page. So I have my my word of the year, which evolved into grace. I feel like I'm playing with like 5 words of the year, actually. 2024 is a temperance card year for me. That's why I put this here in the middle. And funny story, 2024 itself also, like 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 is 8, which means for everybody, there's a strength card energy to this year. That's my soul card. Strength is my soul card. And funny story, when I got the first edition of the Dream Visions Tarot, which I no longer have, I now have the second edition. When I got the first edition, I got 2 like business cards, a temperance one and a strength card one. So I put them in here. I wrote about my word grace and some like questions. I just did some decorative stickers, and then I've added a couple just like random thoughts as we've gone on. So that's my title page. I have an index again, and it's very simple. It's just divided into 4 columns so I can hopefully put all the details. I am indexing every single page because that is the way I like to do it. Then I did kind of this is my as we begin. This was just me starting out and being like, where am I at as I started this journal? It's spring. I put LC journal, page 63 is in like my long-term collections journal. It's on page 63. I'm in spring season, so that's that detail. It was a star season when I started this journal, so I wrote a bit about that. And then I wrote moving forward. And then this page, I just wrote some of the just some of the things I want to work on, some of the important notes and stuff. And then we have my first bit for Taurus season. So I did a reflections page, and some of the format is consistent all the way through my journaling in the different things that I do. So here we have a reflection from the previous connected season. So this is Taurus season, so I did an Aries season reflection. And then we have a title page with a tab. And then in here, so far all that this is, so this is the season of the sun. So far all that this is just kind of predictions. I don't know if I'm going to do more with this. We'll see how that develops. So there's my predictions. Then we have my moon return page. So I have the reflections from my last moon return, which was this spread. I reflected on it, and I did a title page. And then in it, this one just has like the moon return specific work. This one just has the readings. So I did my grandmother guidance reading and a tarot reading, and I have this tracker here in the middle. This is not going to look like this at my next moon return, which starts in just like 6 days, because I've recently determined how I want to implement and like the kind of work I want to do with my moon return. I'm not going to talk about that yet because we're not there yet. And I haven't solidified it for myself enough yet. But, so I do have my moon return reading. I'm still keeping working with the grandmother, songs of the grandmothers. But, and I use tarot with it. Oh, what was my, it's fine. I can't quite remember, but it's fine. Oh, right, I did, now I remember. So, yes, sorry, I'm just thinking as I go. So I do have my first weekly here, which as you can see, I didn't do much with. I was in the depths of mental health crap here, like deep depths, really bad. So like my planning stuff kind of just goes wherever. And then I start the next tab wherever it's applicable. So here's my reflections for the Aries to Libra moon cycle. There's not much, but here's my title page for the Scorpio to Taurus moon cycle. I like this. I took a moon sticker and I cut it roughly in half and I stuck it on the tab. Here's the reading. And this is the same thing I did last time. I think I am almost ready to talk about this. I love this. And I'm actually thinking as I'm filming here that it would be cool over time to do videos of the individual pieces and what they are, so I can look at those more deeply with y'all and tell you about them. But so this is my work with the astrological moon cycle. Like all moon cycles are astrological, but this is different than the working from dark moon to dark moon, which is going to change. Like they're going to line up better soon. Anyway, it's fine. So this is work I do with the Energy Archaeology Oracle and the Starseeker Oracle. And I use the Starseeker Tarot as well with it. So I've got this. I think I'm going to add a page to it next time. I'll talk about that when I get to the point of reflecting, which is coming up also really soon. And then I have my April reflections, and then I came to May. And so all of it is in the same color scheme. The color scheme will change once we enter Gemini season, which is next week, Monday. This is last week in this color scheme. So I guess I can start working on those pages this week too. That's cool. That's exciting. I can do that with my members. Anyway, this part is also still in development, so I don't know how this is going to go, but I did my reflections for the month of April. I did this title page. I printed out in black and white because I do still have black ink, how the map of like the sky movement for the month. And then I did here my annual perfection reading. This is where I came up with the Unfuck My Mars. And I wrote more things I want to do on those goals. I have a weekly here, which I will move this tab. Then here we have my calendar. I don't like how far in this calendar is, but it's what was possible. So I have my calendar. I have my word of the day here. I have a place. This is where I'm brain dumping. I'm really liking this. My gratitude and my memories. I didn't do much decorating. We're not worrying about this. Here I tried to do a daily reading with the Beltane season, but I didn't like it. Here's where my Beltane reading is. Because I'm still bullet journaling. I'm still putting things in where there's the next space available is. I'm just also doing other stuff now too. I had my Venus return reading because I am in my Venus return period. And it's my Venus return reading. And then we came to the point where the Aries month, as Jessica calls it, was ending. So the Aries month was ending. And I decided that I wanted to do, as I mentioned, Hecate is my matron. And I want to do more dedicated work with her. And so that's a thing I'm trying to build. It's a thing I've been trying to build. And it's hard. So what has kind of ended up happening, same with my moon return, is the things I want to build work with, I am connecting to other things. So I've always wanted to have some sort of a moon cycle work. And so I'm connecting Hecate to it. Now there is multiple parts to my moon cycle work. Like I do have this, and I don't know how this is going to go. Because like right now, the full moon is coming before the connected new moon by sign. So we had a Scorpio full moon, and then we have a Taurus new moon. And so this started with the Taurus new moon. So what I did was I felt like I wanted a lot of space to reflect. So I left myself a lot of space to do that. Reflection. Here's the reflection. Here's the title page. As you can see, I did format it very similarly to this. And I plan to do that for, at least for this year. Or this like next 12-ish months. And again, I took a new moon sticker that time, and I cut it in half, or I took 2 and I put it there to think, because the problem is I would love all my moon work to be connected. The problem is, and maybe that is a thing that will start to happen when they realign up, and I'll go from there. But it's still kind of disjointed, because I like to work with the moon cycles connected by sign. And when the new moon is in Taurus and then the following full moon is in, well, let's see. The new moon is in Taurus, and which is here, and the following full moon, instead of being in Scorpio, is in Sagittarius. So it's doing this weird thing where, like, new moon, full moon, until here. It's gonna line up. There's like 2 months left, and then it's gonna line up, and it'll stay lined up for a while, for at least the second half of the year. I don't know, into next year. But the moon does that sometimes. It goes wonky, and the full moon ends up coming before the connected by sign new moon. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. And I like to do things with the connected by sign. So I do have this separate. And this practice is working really well on its own. For what, like, this practice just kind of gives me a card that I come to at each phase of the moon that kind of tells me just where I'm at and what I need to do to take care of myself emotionally for that phase of the moon. I'm working with the main phases of the moon: full moon, third quarter; new moon, first quarter. Anyway, so I did this. I have a thing I'm calling Hecate's Keys and a guide to help. I don't want to talk about this a lot in detail as of right now. I pulled together all the messages from all the different things. Taurus predictions, moon return, Scorpio to Taurus moon cycle, annual perfection, Beltane, Venus, Jessica's predictions, and I did some goals and plans for this work. Kind of looking at it as like the dark moon is a time for me to connect with my goddess and for her to tell me shit I need to be working on, and for me to make some magical plans for that. This part, it's hard for me to put words to some of this still, but so I have my goals and plans. I'm trying this field notes spread. I love how it looks. I'm not sure how it's going to change, and I'm still kind of feeling it out, so we shall see, but I love how it looks so far. And then I did a reading here. These are both readings. And then this was the first journaling prompt. Jessica, in her membership, releases prompts with each phase of the moon. So this is the first prompt. It was what is my environment teaching me now, and this was very deep. And then we have the weekly. And that's really where I've landed. Like I said, I do have this long-term collections thing. But that's it. That's where I've landed. And I don't know all the details. I don't know all the ways in which it's going to keep going and keep growing. But I know that a lot of things are shifting, and kind of, it's like over the years I've collected all these little pieces that I wanted to work with. And they have started to come together. It's like I've got all these little puzzle pieces scattered about, and they're starting to pull together. And I'm really loving that. And so that is where I'm at. I know this was a long video, and we still have a little bit of an update to cover. So, let me just say at this point, if you're leaving here now because the journal porn is done, that is fine. Sorry, my brain is kind of... Right, if you're leaving here now because I'm done with the flip through of my journal and whatnot, that's great. Just let me know in the comments down below. Would you like to see the individual pieces? Like, I can talk about the work I do following the sun season in one video. And I can talk about the work I do with my moon return when I'm ready, obviously, in another video. And I can talk about this work in another video and that work, etc. I can break down and show you the individual pieces because they are individual pieces within the collective of my spiritual work, but they don't necessarily all combine together. That's really still up in the air. But if you'd like to see videos of the individual things, like where my moon return work ends, like the practice, what it is, what it becomes, then let me know. I can do that. But that's it for the journal stuff. So, what's something pretty you can look at? You can look at this. The update. I've mentioned my mental health really crashed. And like super duper crashed really hard. And I am working on getting myself out of the woods. Today is a good day. We're loving it. And for this channel going forward, I think I mentioned this in a not so far past previous update video. For this channel going forward, you can expect journaling content. I don't necessarily think all of it will be me flipping through my journal and chatting for a billion years. I'm hoping to do some videos where I record me doing stuff. I've done videos like that before with like readings, where I do like readings with it. Once I feel solid in the thing, then for some of them, if it doesn't feel too personal, I can take you with me as I do them. For example, I could take you with me as I do my Taurus predictions, or my Gemini season predictions. I don't think I'm gonna, but I could, is the point. And there's not going to be a lot of tarot content. Journaling is what brought me to YouTube. And journaling is what keeps me coming back to YouTube every single time. And journaling is what started me creating YouTube. So there's not going to be a lot of tarot content. Tarot will still be involved because I use tarot in my journal. I use tarot constantly. Here's tarot cards. Here's tarot cards. Like almost every single thing you see is tarot cards. More tarot cards. More about tarot cards. Tarot cards, or oracle, as it were. Most of what I do in my journal, cards. Here's a card reading. More readings. Like, there are cards and working with tarot and divination everywhere because it's what I do. But truth be told, my journal is what keeps me going. It is my heart and my soul and the main core. Like, this is the pinnacle of all of my things. This is the foundation. This is where I bring everything to my journal to process it. So for content, it's going to be mostly journaling. There's going to be lots of different topics talked about because I do lots of different things with my journal. There's going to be mundane planning. There's going to be witchy shit. There's going to be tarot and oracle divination. There's going to be goddess work. And it's all about with my journal. If you would like some more behind the scenes, some more raw content, some more potentially tarot content, just some more like come along with me in my life kind of a vibes, where you might see me do walkthroughs of tarot decks or unboxings or these kinds of things, then check out my YouTube channel membership. It is going to get a facelift and an update. It is going down to one main tier. The Cosmic Coven, I might rename it. I don't know that I'm going to, but it's going down to one main tier. I'm keeping the support tier, the support of superstars, which is literally just like you pay a minimal amount and you are supporting me being able to continue doing this work. But the main tier, all of it's going to be one tier. And I'm still going to do the monthly readings, but there's going to be a lot of behind the scenes kind of thing. A lot of join me, hear me talk about the details of my spiritual practice. What is going on in the pages of my journal? Not just look at the stuff in my journal and here's how I'm journaling, but what's the details? What's the deeper stuff? If you're interested in that, check out my YouTube channel membership. It also just helps me keep going, because I do need to try and have some resources to live and to support my life and to support my wife. So decluttering all the kind of lifestyle stuff is going mostly behind the paywall. So like, for another example, I might sometimes every once in a while do a more lifestyle kind of video where like I show you how my witchy altar is set up. But behind the curtain in the membership, I might have done a long video or a live where I was decluttering and setting up my altar with them, kind of a thing. So if you're interested in that, check out the channel membership. And that is where I'm going to go. My throat hurts. I have stuff to do. And I hope you enjoyed this really long journal update video. I hope it was still fun. And don't forget to click all the things. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me know if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that bell notification so you can come on back nice and easily. I really would like to hear from you in the comments down below. If there is anything here that was like particularly interesting, would you like to hear more of the pieces? Like, maybe one day I can do a video about the field notes and what I'm doing with the field notes. And I can maybe one day I can do a video about my moon return work and what that's looking like and those kinds of things. So let me know all of this stuff in the comments down below. I'm going to let you go here, and I will talketh to you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Lots of love. Bye.